With the GoCurrency.com sports ticker, I'm Tim Mulhaupt on the Huskers Radio Network. Happy Thursday, Huskers fans. We begin tonight with two Huskers athletic schedule announcements. First, the Nebraska women's gymnastics team announced their 2023 schedule, which features 4 home meets at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Home season begins on Saturday, January 7th, when the Huskers host the Arkansas Razorbacks at 3 p.m. The first home Big Ten meet takes place on Saturday, January 21st, against Maryland at 6 p.m. You can check out the full schedule on Huskers.com. And Nebraska Wrestling announced its TV schedule for the 2022-2023 season today. The Huskers will have 4 duels televised by the Big Ten Network starting Friday, January 13th against Minnesota at 8 p.m. 1 week later, the Huskers will be back on BTN for their duel against Iowa at 8 p.m. on Friday, January 20th. Then in February, duels against Ohio State on Friday, February 10th at 6 p.m. and Arizona State on Sunday, February 19th at 1:30 p.m. will also be televised by the Big Ten Network. And Huskers soccer is in action tonight as they take on Penn State up at Hibner Stadium at 7:05 p.m. Good luck to the Huskers and our own Sammy Hawk in net in that big matchup against 24th ranked Penn State tonight. In pro sports tonight, it is the Equinox. All 4 major sports are playing for the first time this fall on the same night. In baseball, after falling 4-2 in Game 1 of the ALCS, the Yankees will look to get their bats going against the Astros in Game 2. Luis Severino will start for the Yanks, while Framer Valdez will get the nod for Houston. In the NFL, it's Thursday night football as the Saints are out west in Arizona to take on the Cardinals at 7:15 p.m. DeAndre Hopkins will make his season debut for the Cards, while the Saints will try to grit out a win despite a host of injuries across their roster. And in the NBA, some premium matchups, one in each conference tonight. In the East, the Milwaukee Bucks and the Philadelphia 76ers tip off at 6:30 p.m. And out west, it's Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers taking on LeBron James and producer Andrews. Lakers battle of L.A. there again out west at 9 p.m. This update is presented by Currency. Does your business need help financing big-ticket items like equipment, trucks, and trailers? Currency is here to help. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. That's the ticker. I'm Tim Mulhaupt, and Sports Nightly is next on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Lonnie Dodson, the former BYU Cougar, serves good pass. Maddie, quick attack, pick Alec. You can't stop her. You just try to contain her.
Snap back, Casey looking to throw. Will hold, throws deep down the field, looking for Palmer at the goal line, makes a catch. Touchdown, Nebraska. Trey Palmer burns the secondary of the Boilermakers.
Now Northwestern on the black tops. Thomas Ayara, triple block. The triple. Second big red block of the afternoon. Caitlin Horde, Whitney Lundstein, Allie Peyton Horse. That's about 20 feet of combined humanity.
Snap. Back to throw. Step throws wide open at the 45. Making the catches. Palmer to the 50, to the 45, to the 40. Breaks a tackle to the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. Down to the 7-yard line. Another big, huge play by Trey Palmer. He's over 200 yards receiving in this game.
Back row. Here comes a free ball by the libero. And it's a near kill until Lexi Rodriguez saved it. Unreal. Free ball over. Long shoot set. And a miss hit by Allie Holland. Lexi Rodriguez kept it alive. It's 19-9. They're on their feet in Lincoln.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Boy, loved hearing those JB highlights, huh? How fantastic was Nebraska last night on the road against a top 15 team in Purdue, and it was domination by the Big Red as they continue to play terrific volleyball. 10 straight wins for the Huskers, and just cruising along in the toughest league in the country and just cutting these teams up. And you go back to what they did to Penn State last Friday at home, another ranked team, and then Purdue last time. Man, that was impressive. Unbelievable what this team is doing. They'll continue their road trend with the game at Illinois Saturday night, and then, hang on, here we go. It's at Wisconsin next Wednesday night. That'll be a rematch of last year's national championship match. That was so fun. John Cook will be here, hour 2, to talk about that match. Take all your comments, questions, calls with our weekly volleyball show, so looking forward to having the coach in studio in hour number 2. Jessica Coody's birthday today, folks, and so we gave her the night off. She is out of here. Hopefully she's out having a good time. Hope she's having a nice dinner, celebrating her birthday, and so we wish her happy birthday, but not here with us tonight. She'll be back in with us tomorrow night here on the program. It's been an off week. In fact, the Huskers did not practice today on the football field. And a lot of the coaches have scattered. I saw on social media some of the coaches are at various points around the country out visiting recruits, and I love this staff's enthusiasm, their energy, their fight, because it would be pretty easy for these guys not knowing their future. They don't know what's going to happen at the end of the season, whether they're going to still be here. If Mickey Joseph gets elevated to the head coaching title, does Trev Alberts opt to make a change? All that's certainly there. But this staff is keeping their head down, and they are going to work. Love that. Love that about these guys. They're good, hard workers. They want the best for this program. And regardless of what happens in 6 weeks for this staff, man, you just tip your cap to them for working their tail off, trying to help this football team get better week in and week out. So kudos to those guys out there pounding the pavement, trying to get some new guys to come and be a part of Husker football in the future. So really, really appreciate all of those guys. The players had today and tomorrow off. They're going to get back into the light workout over the weekend, and then it's back into game week practices. Illinois will be on the docket for next Saturday with a 2:30 kickoff. Back-to-back home games for the Huskers. The next two, Illinois and then Minnesota. We don't have a start time for the Minnesota game, and we may not get that. The Big Ten gets those 2 6-day picks where they can hold off on picking which games are going to go on what networks and at what time. They have most of weeks, or it's 12 days out, they make the pick. They have not used one of their 6-day windows. They have 2 left. And we've now rounded the bend past the midway point. They might, as I look at those games on November the 5th, which that's the Minnesota game for the Huskers, I see a lot of coin flip type games. So we may not find out on Monday what time the Minnesota game is, but we do know that the Illinois game will be at 2:30 next week. So looking forward to getting back on the field. And, boy, the Illini playing really, really well. Looked great in their victory over Minnesota last week. And really kind of looks like to me, as I analyze this thing with everybody having 5-6 games to go, that it's for the West, it's maybe comes down to that Purdue matchup at Illinois in a couple of weeks. That'll be on the 12th of November where the division could be decided. Thought we'd have some fun tonight. We're not at the halfway point of the season. We've already played 7, 5 to go, so we're 1 game past the midway point. But I kind of wanted to get people's thoughts on who would be your offensive and defensive MVPs for the Huskers through the first 7 games. And when I look at it on offense, I kind of have 3 people in mind for that. Anthony Grant was so good early in the season with all those 100-yard rushing games. He's been cooled off a little bit as Rutgers and Purdue have really stuffed the box and made it difficult for the Huskers to run. So he's cooled off. Obviously, Trey Palmer has to get some consideration, setting the school record for receiving yards in a game in the Purdue game. And he's really kind of warmed up about the same time when Anthony kind of cooled off. And I think that's because defenses are playing Nebraska differently now. They, as I said, they're loading the box. They're trying to get as many people in there as possible to try to gum things up and to try to stop everybody from doing things. So when Anthony's production's gone down, I think that's when Trey's production has gone up. And my other candidate would probably be Casey. I think Casey's done a really good job for the Huskers through the first 7 games of this season. He's tough as nails because he's just been getting beat down week after week, knocked down. I think the Rutgers game, he had 38 pass attempts. He got knocked down 26 of those 38 pass attempts. He got hit and knocked to the ground physically. That's a pretty big beating that you take on that. So those are probably the 3. I probably would be rotating. 2-3 weeks ago, my pick might have been different than it is now, but I'd love your thoughts on that if you have it at 402-413-2400 with a call or a text if you have some thoughts about the offensive MVP. On defense, it's a little bit tougher to pull through. The leading tackler on this team is Luke Reimer, but he's missed the game. He missed the game at Purdue, but he still is the leading tackler by about 6 over Isaac Gifford. To me, I think Quentin Newsome would deserve a look. Quentin has 7 pass breakups, has done a nice job. He has not been able to get an INT this year, but a lot of times it's because people aren't going his way. I thought he played pretty well against Charlie Jones, even though Jones had all those catches the other night. I thought he did a pretty good job against that Purdue wideout. Quentin would be, in my eyes, as a guy that you might look at. Garrett Nelson's certainly been steady Eddie for this team, leads the Huskers in sacks with 4.5 sacks to this point in time. So probably one of those guys on defense for me, whether it's Quentin Newsome in the back end or whether it's Reimer or Garrett Nelson up front in the middle, the inside backer, and then an outside edge rusher for the Huskers. To me, probably one of those three guys for the defensive MVP through 7 games. And I don't know that you could go wrong really with any of those three. Reimer does have an INT. He does have a sack as well as the leading tackler. Garrett leads it in sacks. Also had a couple of pass breakups. He's got with his 4.5 sacks, he also has 4 quarterback hurries. So that means 8.5 times he has affected the passing game through the first 7 games. But if you have some thoughts about that, we certainly can dive into that here on the program tonight. Well, the college football playoff folks had a meeting today in Dallas. They had about a 6-hour meeting. The current setup for the college football playoff with its 4-team format, which we've been operating on now for about eight years, does go through 2025. But there's a lot of hope that maybe they can get this thing tweaked and figured out. There's a lot of people in the powers to be in college football who want to expand this thing out to 12 teams. And there is a lot of thought that they maybe can get this done. They did not get to that point today after a 6-hour closed-door meeting in Dallas. I guess there was progress made. Heather Dinich of ESPN.com has got a terrific read-up about this, that a lot of the powers to be were in Dallas today. They would like to maybe try to speed this thing through and start the expanded playoff in 2024. So that is just 2 years off. Again, the current deal goes through 2025, so you'd have 3 more years of the 14 playoffs. They would like, I think, to accelerate that and move it up a year and get it going in 2024. It does seem like they do have some commonality amongst all the people that are going to be voting on this thing to go to 12. I think that's kind of set. That's a big hurdle to get over for the SEC and the Big Ten and all the conferences to agree upon a certain number. But it sounds like they are locked into 12. I guess I'm okay with that. I do think it's going to make November's wild in the sport. You're going to have so many teams that are going to hit the 1st of November going, hey, if we win out, or if we win 3 of our last 4, we're going to be in the top 12 and we're going to make this thing. You might have somebody who enters November, and let's say they're ranked 18th, but they have a couple of big games coming up, and if they win those and some teams lose ahead of them, they can vault and get up into that top 12. So nothing today, but it sounded like there was some movement that was made today. Greg Sankey, the commissioner of the SEC, did come out of the meeting and said, quote, "We haven't spent a lot of time on revenue distribution. We have a model that's got some different numbers in it, but that's out there someplace." So they haven't figured out the financial component of this. But like I said, a big hurdle is, I think, all kind of agreeing on a 12-team format for the college football playoff. So I think that's progress that they made with the meeting today in Dallas, and they are set to meet again in a few weeks. A good read, ESPN.com, Heather Dinich, with a really good read on that if you want to bone up on that. Tim mentioned it in the ticker. The last home soccer match for Husker soccer is out at Hibner tonight. They play nationally ranked Penn State. They play tonight. Then they go to Wisconsin Sunday, and that's it for the regular season. How about that? The regular season is just a couple of days away from being finished, and it's a beautiful night. So if you're in the Lincoln area and don't really have something on your mind for tonight, love to have a great crowd out there for the final night. So it'd be senior night, too, for Husker soccer to get out there and root them on. The Huskers have clinched a spot in the league postseason tournament. Like baseball, only 8 teams make the postseason tournament in soccer. And so the Huskers have wrapped that up, even with 2 games to go for everybody in the league. They have enough points accumulated with wins and ties that they are, at worst, the 8th seed. Right now they'd be the 7th seed, but they would love to pick off a win tonight on senior night and maybe increase their move. A win in the last 2 games, they would have a chance to move up in the standings. So that should be fun. Again, 7 o'clock is when that starts out at Hibner Stadium tonight. Keep an eye on the ALCS, about ready to get ready for Game 2. Yankees and Astros down in Houston. The Astros won Game 1 last night. The National League Series is off today. It's a travel day. They left San Diego and are flying to Philadelphia. That series will resume tomorrow with Game 3. With that thing knotted up at a game apiece between the Padres and the Phillies. Game 2 again with the ALCS starts here in about 17 minutes is when that thing will get underway there. Also, NFL action tonight. Not a must-see game, is it really? I mean, it's New Orleans at Arizona, two teams that have really kind of struggled so far this year. All right, again, 402-413-2400. Jessica did sit down early in the week with Jeremiah Sirles for another edition of the Sideline Slice, brought to you by Valentino's. We're going to have that for you coming up here in a few minutes. And then again, our volleyball show in hour number 2. Lauren Cook-West will sit in tonight as the host to talk with her dad, head coach John Cook, about this red-hot Husker volleyball team. And again, if you have some thoughts about first half MVPs for the Huskers on offense, defense, love to hear your take. 402-413-2400. That is our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com. With 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. More of the show, including our Sideline Slice with Sirles, coming up next.
Do you want your date to wait for your interlock device to let you drive? Your kids to ask why you have an ankle bracelet? Or your boss to see your criminal history? Do you want to miss important life events because of house arrest? Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
One of the best Thanksgiving traditions is football, and this year one of the best ways to celebrate that tradition is to hit the road with the Huskers and AAA. This year's annual Black Friday game will be played in Iowa City, and AAA is giving Huskers fans a chance to win a road trip package, including 2 game tickets, a gas card, and hotel accommodations. Enter now for a chance to win at huskers.com/AAA road trip. Again, that's huskers.com/AAA road trip. Expect something more with AAA.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
There's a call on the field for a quality seed specific to where you farm. Make the right call with Prairie Valley. With local research in 8 regions throughout Nebraska, Prairie Valley performs with their locally specific hybrids and varieties while achieving the highest quality and yield. No matter where you farm in Nebraska, Prairie Valley has the seed for where you are. Find a local dealer and learn more about the seed for where you are at prairievalleyseeds.com. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdowns for teachers.
Preparation. It's the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Huskers on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pre-game routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Bank of the West is offering the first checking account designed for climate action. It gives back 1% of the account's net revenue to the planet at no cost to you. Shows you the estimated carbon impact of debit card purchases. And there's no minimum balance required. Learn more at bankofthewest.com/1%. Additional conditions apply. Member FDIC.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Every day, Central Valley Ag supplies energy to our farmers to help feed the globe. CVA continuously monitors propane levels to ensure neither you nor your animals go a day without heat this winter in your home, shop, or livestock barn. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Visit CVACoop.com and learn how you can lock in CVA propane pricing when you register to win heat for the entire winter with tank monitoring valued over $1,500. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Farmers Mutual of Nebraska is proud to support Husker athletics. Having a confident teammate beside you makes all the difference when it comes to protecting what matters most. With a proven track record of dependable coverage, unmatched financial strength, and a prompt claim service team right here in Nebraska, that's insurance kept local. Visit FMNE.com to contact an agent for a quote today. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy, from repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe with you tonight. Got our volleyball show coming up at the top of the hour. Throughout for everybody to discuss who's your offense and defensive MVPs. Just past the midway point of the Husker football season. Got some good responses coming in on Twitter. Probably not defensive MVP, but someone that has played above expectations is Isaac Gifford. Isaac has played really well. He's second on the team in tackles. Had probably his poorest game against Oklahoma, but I think he's responded from that. I think he's done a nice job. Stephen Bellevue says, for me, it's got to be Casey. He's taking a beating, keeps getting up, making plays. Record doesn't show up, but he's a gutsy, tough Husker. Amen to that, Steve. He really is. Art in Los Angeles says, how about Casey for offense, Garrett Nelson for defense, since both of those players are the toughest on the field. Go Big Red. There's that word tough being thrown out there. Let's hear what a caller has to say. Drew's up next here on the program. Good evening, Drew. Welcome to Sports Nightly.
Hey, Greg. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. So, I spent 35 years in Nebraska. Huge fan. Had season tickets. Been in Florida the last 5 years. Actually just came out of a huge recovery from Hurricane Ian. So grateful.
Are you on the Gulf side?
Yeah. Yeah, we live in North Port Estates, which is kind of one of the where it had like 5 feet of water in the street.
Oh man, so, I hope everybody in your family is okay.
Absolutely, we're grateful to be alive. But one thing is that stayed really consistent since that night when that hurricane hit was on the 28th. Is that's been the Huskers' kind of turnaround, and so awesome to see, and kind of an encouragement to us. But I think one of the things I've seen is really the staff kind of sticking the kids together. So I think kind of on offense, I'd have to go with Casey being really tough, and obviously that connection with Trey. But Mark Whipple just doing a good job of I think strategizing, and those adjustments at halftime have been unlike we've seen in recent years.
Very good.
But then but then wanted to say kind of the same thing on defense. And obviously Bill Bush has kept the kids together and been kind of running through walls for that guy. Still learning a lot, I think, as it goes on. But I think I'd kind of give a tiebreaker to Garrett Nelson because of his leadership and Luke Reimer on their performances so far this half. But I think the door's open for the second half of the season for Malcolm to get in there and some other guys. So excited to see how they end the year.
Well, Drew, bless you, and I'm glad you're safe, and hopefully the recovery is as painless as possible. I know it's going to take a long time to get a lot of that area rebuilt, but a lot of people are thinking about you folks down here in Florida.
I appreciate that, Greg. Yeah, we're on our way back, and like I said, one of the hardest hit areas, and we're getting there. We're almost fully recovered. So it's been a few weeks, but we're there, and so like I said, like the way the program's going, and we're big fans down here. So. Appreciate you, Greg.
Thanks, Drew. Always love hearing from Husker fans anywhere around the world. And, yeah, our thoughts and prayers to those folks down there. I saw they got the Sanibel Island Bridge rebuilt in about 3 weeks' time. That causeway was completely destroyed. It's remarkable how they're able to get some of that stuff rebuilt. Yeah, Drew, you got somebody else on our text line agrees with you. Bill Bush, he said he gets my vote for MVP. What he's done with that defense in the last couple of weeks is pretty remarkable, and I think a lot of people would agree with that as well. All right, 402-413-2400, the number to be a part of the program. Time to tell you to buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. The birthday girl, Jessica, did sit down earlier in the week for another edition of the podcast, Sideline, a slice from the sidelines with Jeremiah Sirles, brought to you by Valentino's. And here's a snippet of their latest podcast.
Well, before we get into all the fun stuff, I guess, first of all, your reaction, you said that the offense is going to have to score 30 points. They scored 37. At least the offense got going against Purdue.
Yeah, and by offense, you mean Trey Palmer. If you want to say the offense got going, if you just look at the stat line, I mean, Trey Palmer had basically 50% of Nebraska's yards, if not more. And when you have a special talent like that, guys can do that. It was very similar to the David Bell what he did to Iowa last year for Purdue, where he just was unstoppable. I mean, dude averaged 33.9, almost 34 yards per catch. I mean, that's insane. They just couldn't cover him. And props to Casey for being able to see him and just knowing that he was hot and feeling good and just giving him opportunities with the ball.
He was unbelievable. And Casey told me after the game, he thinks he just keeps getting better every week, which if teams are going to try to key in on him, which for some reason they were still matching up one-on-one, there's not a lot of defensive backs that are going to be able to match up with Trey Palmer one-on-one, right?
No, not at all. I mean, and here's the thing, though. So, if you look at what Nebraska did in the passing game, right, Nebraska really only threw to 3 receivers, Marcus Washington, Oliver Martin, and Trey Palmer, right? That was really it. And then Travis Vogelek had 3 catches, too. So you had 4 guys that caught the ball out of Nebraska's weapons, right? You look at what Purdue did. Purdue had almost 9 different people catch the ball. That's something that we need to look at in the bye week and be like, okay, how do we get more people the ball? Because as great as Trey Palmer was and as great as he's going to be, eventually teams are going to be like, okay, make someone else beat us. And they're going to bracket coverage him. They're going to throw a safety over the top. They're going to put their best corner on him at all times. It's going to be up to other guys to win. So as great as he is right now, other guys are going to have to start stepping up around him because teams are going to scheme for a guy. You don't let a guy go for 237 and the next week go in the scouting room and be like, we'll stop him this week.
But I think that's what this offense believes they have in that wide receiver room. It just so happened that, hey, they didn't do anything to stop Trey Palmer. It was working. He kept getting open, so we're going to keep getting in the football. But I do think that there is enough pieces and enough talent that Casey can spread the ball around when teams do try to take away Trey Palmer. I mean, Marcus Washington, I think that's, again, that mentality that Mickey Joseph instilled in this room from the second he stepped on campus here in Lincoln is that we are going to match up one-on-one, and we are going to win every single one-on-one matchup that we have. We're going to have that mentality that it doesn't matter who the ball is going to, we're coming down with it.
Absolutely, and you have to have that as a receiver, especially as an elite wide receiver in the Big Ten and the SEC, whatever the best conference is, and then as you want to go have NFL aspirations, you have to be considering yourself unguardable. And Trey Palmer did that on Saturday night, which is great, but I think, it is up to guys like Marcus Washington specifically. I think guys like Alante Brown Oliver Martin, those type of guys have to start embodying. And, it's kind of like what I said with sacks. Everyone wants to get involved in the sack game. When you have a receiver that's ripping off yardage like that, everyone wants the ball. Now, granted, there's only one ball to go around, but I think this receiver room is really good. I think they're all really good friends. I think they're all really good teammates, and they're going to be equally happy as long as all of them have success, and they're all going for wins, right? I think that's one thing. I think this is a very unselfish receiver room, and I've been a part of some selfish receiver rooms. I think this is very unselfish. They just really want the team to win. They want what's best for the offense and what's best for the Huskers, and you can win a lot of football games and be really successful on offense if that's your mentality.
No, I talked about this last week. You and I talked about it, but I love Trey Palmer's demeanor. It is not about him. I can't, for the life of me, get him to talk about himself in interviews. I mean, he is team guy. He scored the last touchdown he scored, the big pass play. He didn't want to stop to celebrate. He went right down to talk to the defense and, hey, let's go. Let's get a stop here and get the ball back. I mean, he's a team guy, so it's been fun to watch him on the sidelines, and I think that there will be some other guys that will step up. On the flip side of that, Casey Thompson obviously found Trey a lot, but Casey will be the first to tell you he missed a couple that could have been the difference. One of those, a wide open Alante Brown in the end zone, but I think Casey very much needed a bye week. I think he was pretty banged up.
Yeah, he's gotten the crap beat out of him the last few games. There's no way around that. Our offensive line has to be better. There was a few times in that game that I texted one of our group chats. It's like, it's a legitimate race to the quarterback off the edges right now. Like, the two D ends hit each other at 9.5 yards without being touched, and that's just unacceptable. Like, that can't happen. And you see Casey standing in there, and even the announcer's like, man, way to stand in there and take that hit and make that throw. But when they're saying it 3, 4, 5 times a game, that's not a good health for your quarterback. I mean, just look at the Justin Fields right now with the Bears. Like, he was walking off the field at halftime, literally with the look on his face, like, kill me. Like, he's getting killed. And at times you see Casey Thompson, too, just back there getting killed. And that just can't happen, because when you have a guy as talented as Casey and you have receivers as talented, and nothing knocking on Chuba Purdy, anyone, but he is the starter, you're going to win games with your starter. You're going to lose games in close games like that with your backup. It's just facts. So you can't get him hurt. So I think the bye week comes at a really good time to get him recovered, get him rested up, and just get him really as healthy as he can at this point in the season for the back half of the schedule here.
Well, they were down another offensive lineman. Brock Bando did not make the trip, and we've talked enough about it, about what needs to be done with the offensive lineman. More so, my question is, when you are rotating, and you've talked about how beneficial it is when you do get the guys locked into that spot and you start getting a rhythm, but if you do have to keep moving guys around and plugging them in where you can with the lack of depth, what goes into that, and being able to be ready in no matter spot that you're needed each and every week?
It's not easy, and you're seeing it. Guys are struggling. Guys are starting to not be able to develop as quickly as we would like them to. Now, I will say it was nice to see Henry Lutovsky get a full game under his belt and see what he can do. I think he has some really special ability as a young player. I don't necessarily think he's ready to be starting right now, but I think he really shows a lot of qualities that he could be a very good starter for us in the future. This back part of the year, getting some good experience, and then really going into next year, he's laying some really good groundwork to become and take that next jump to be a starting all 12 games on this offensive line. Overall, these guys just have to keep preparing every week like it's the hardest week of their life, and it's hard to do every week to ratchet yourself up and be as prepared as possible, especially if it's at multiple positions. If you're trying to study for guard and study for a swing tackle, and maybe you're going to have to back up center, whatever it might be, you have to just be ready, because we're in these close games. We're in these shootouts on offense. Like, you can't come in and be the weak link in the chain, especially on offensive line. If you're in a game where we're having to pass the ball 30 times a game and we need to have those moments back there, we're in a 2-minute drill right beforehand, you can't come in and be cold and not prepared, or they throw a blitz and you miss the blitz pickup. Like, you have to be so mentally dialed in that they can put you at any position, and that is not easy to do when you're trying to balance football, you're trying to balance school, you're trying to balance all that. But that's what it takes to be a winning football team when your depth gets tested, especially on the offensive line.
Still were able to put up 37 points, and I love the demeanor on the sideline. They never once looked like, even when they got down 14 and things were not going right, that even with the offense, they were like, hey, we're going to go score. We're going to win this thing. When you have an offense that can do, even despite Casey being pressured, still put up the kind of production, you're going to be in a lot of games.
Absolutely. Yeah, when you can score 37, you're going to win majority of the time. But you just can't give up 43. I think that if you look at the difference in this football game as to why I think that we lost this football game, it's because of the run game. We were great in the pass game. We had over 354 yards passing, which is phenomenal. We had the 2 touchdown passes. But when you look at our run game, our run game is where we really struggled. We barely eclipsed 100 yards, if that, for running the football. And then you look on the flip side of what Purdue did, and Purdue had one guy with almost 200 yards. So when you look at what was the difference in this game, it was 100% the rushing attack. And I think that if we can start developing the rushing attack and try and basically mirror what Purdue does, we don't want to throw the ball 54 times like they did, but we also want to run the ball more effectively, become more balanced. And if we can do that, this offense can easily be an offense that scores 40-plus points a game, which that's what you're going to have to do when you have a defense that's allowing 40-plus points a game.
A couple of the scores, though, that were given up, the defense are put in bad spots, interception, a bad punt, and then you are out Luke Reimer, and then you lose Nick Henrich. And so it was a tough go at it. But I also think, too, and I've said this a couple times with Greg on Sports Nightly and even leading into it, outside of Michigan, I feel like that was going to be the toughest matchup, specifically for the defense on the rest of the schedule.
Minnesota's one that I think may give us a hard time. Illinois, too. I think
Illinois does not have an elite offense. I think Purdue, they're statistically up there, and the quarterback, Aiden O'Connell, and the wide receiver, Charlie Jones, those are 2 guys that are really tough to match up with.
I agree, but I think that it's completely different offenses. I think Purdue is more of a dynamic offense, so I think you're right in the regards that the dynamic down-the-field passing game Purdue is probably the best we'll see on the schedule besides Michigan. However, I think that Illinois and Minnesota's downhill run game is the difference there. Purdue doesn't have the downhill run game where they just commit to the run like the Illinois and Minnesota will do. And we've seen Minnesota's been struggling on offense, especially with Tanner Morgan being hurt. But in the last few years, Minnesota's been able to keep our offense off the field. And that's where, if we're going to have an offense that scores like this, if we limit our possession time and they limit the amount of times our offense touches the football, that's where the things can get skewed. So I think the big thing is just going to be controlling the line of scrimmages against Minnesota and Illinois. But I will agree with you that besides Michigan, this is the most dynamic outside threat that we will have faced all year.
There you are. That's part of this weekly's podcast. There's a whole lot more there, so go find that on our podcast page and soak it all in with Jeremiah Sirles. That's our Sideline Slice with Sirles. Again, brought to you by our great friends at Valentino's. Well, folks, go visit a participating AGCO dealer between now and November the 4th and get yourself entered for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the Nebraska-Wisconsin game. That's the last home game of the year, November the 19th. That'll include a pregame tailgate. See participating AGCO locations across Nebraska, and you could be a winner this season. 402-413-2400. That's the number to dial us up with a comment or question. If you want to fire off a text, same number works for that as well. We're talking about first half MVPs for the Huskers on offense and defense. Crypto King in our chat room says it's got to be Trey Palmer. Look at that. Set the school record for receiving yards in that Purdue game. He's certainly got to be one of the candidates for that. We can continue that and more coming up.
The Ford truck lineup is purpose-built from the ground up, designed to be tough and productive. Crafted with high-strength, military-grade aluminum alloy body and torture-tested high-strength steel frame with new tech to help you work smart and hard. The F-150, Ranger, and Maverick are built tough and ready to tackle whatever lies ahead. Hit the road in confidence and learn more about Ford trucks in-store or online anytime at WoodhouseFord.com, your trusted truck dealer since 1975. Woodhouse Ford.
Preparation. It's the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Huskers on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pregame routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally.
He throws it away into the hands of C.J. Wilcher. Wilcher comes the other way. Davison recovering, and Wilcher puts it up and in.
Hey, Huskers fans, tomorrow, join us for Sports Nightly at 6 p.m. In Hour 1, we'll make our latest college football picks. In Hour 2, we'll sit down with Huskers basketball commentators Kent Pavelka and Jake Muehlheisen as they give their thoughts on the upcoming Nebraska basketball season. We'll close out the show with our winners and losers of the week. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Here's to the locals, raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger, making world-class genetics research and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here too, and we'll keep raising the bar to ensure you only get the best at Hogemeyer. Raised local, raised right here. Learn more at therightseed.com.
I'm University of Nebraska-Lincoln student Hannah Pham with Campus News. Students from Nebraska's Johnny Carson Center for Emerging Media Arts helped create visual effects for the Star Wars TV series Obi-Wan Kenobi. This opportunity came from a 3-month internship with Lola VFX, a visual effects firm in Los Angeles. This internship transitioned to employment, with Huskers also creating effects for the superhero movie Thor: Love and Thunder.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so cold. The furnace is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. Beardmore Subaru celebrates Nebraska volleyball again this season. 5 national championships, 47 All-Americans, and a home sellout streak dating back to 2001. The longest streak for any women's sport in NCAA history. Beardmore Subaru has been a proud supporter of Husker volleyball for more than 10 years. Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue has the new Subaru Outback Wilderness, loaded with off-road ready upgrades, and the new Solterra, Subaru's first ever all-electric and all-wheel drive vehicle. Go Big Red.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres Solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe with you tonight. Jessica's got the night off celebrating her birthday. Top of the hour, it's our volleyball show. The head coach will be here. Man, are the Huskers on a roll. They just blew out Purdue on the road last night. We are also up streaming on our YouTube channel. And Brandon, you are killing me. He says he's waiting in line at DQ for a banana split blizzard. That is just wrong to tell me that. Well, I'm trying to do a show. I'm now so distracted. I want a banana split or a banana split blizzard. That'd be great. Thanks, Brandon. You just, now, oh, man, I can't even think straight. Let's go to the phone. Stay in Lincoln. Bob, you're up next. Good evening.
Hey, good evening. Hey, you know, I got a couple things here. You know, talking about that, the defense. The defense played a lot better the second half. Bill Bush was able to make adjustments so that when on those cutbacks, they weren't getting the yardage that they were in the first half. Okay. And we were in the first half. We were defending that run. It's the cutbacks. I'd like to see us now to defend that backs inside, so that when they cut back, we plant them through the turf. Okay. And then another thing, when Napola Gates, when he got here, did you ever see the Polynesian Bowl?
I remember him playing that. I don't know if I yeah, bits and pieces of it, Bob.
I stayed up that night, okay? Those boys on the offensive and defensive lines are big, and they can run. We get those. We can start recruiting those boys, and get and make a pipeline through here and get those guys here, especially on that offensive line. You've got the pipeline again, and then with the skilled players, you know, we can go back to the '90s. But you know, something that the last two coaching staffs did that I'm hoping that this coaching staff will improve on is you didn't see a lot of offensive line and defensive linemen recruited. You've seen a lot of skilled players. That's great, but you still have to have the offense and defensive lines. And I like to see more recruiting, more big guys, and get those guys in here, develop these players, and then we'll be back to the 90s. And the end is rising.
Bob, I love it. I love the passion. I think you hit on a key word there, and that's development. I just question how much of that's been going on the last 7, 8 years, really getting it, because linemen take longer to cook, right? They take longer to be in the oven because they don't come out of high school and ready to go like maybe a quarterback or a wide receiver could be, or a running back like we saw A.J. Allen before he got hurt. But linemen need time to develop. They need time to be in the weight room, work on all those type of things, and I just don't know how much developing's been going on at Nebraska with the offensive line. I think you need a really solid coach that can really do that. We certainly had that with Milt Tenneper and Dan Young going back in that time. I think that Barney Cotton was pretty good, I think, at some of that stuff in his tenure at Nebraska. But development, to me, that's a huge key, because you go back and look at the recruiting stats of a lot of these players we've had, Turner Corcoran and Bryce Benhart and some of those guys. They were highly, highly recruited young guys. Wisconsin, Iowa, those people all wanted those kind of players to come to their program. And so we out-recruited some of those other Big Ten teams. But I just wonder about the development, because that's where it's done, getting guys ready so that by the third year they're in school, a redshirt year, their freshman year, by the time they're a redshirt sophomore is when they ought to really start helping you out. And I just don't know that I've seen a lot of that the last couple of years. Love the phone call. 402-413-2400. Time to tell you to buckle up, put the phone down. That's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. We're back to wrap up hour one. Again, the volleyball show coming up in the second hour. We'll do that next.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
It's time again for some Nebraska farm facts. For Nebraska soybean farmers, sustainability is a way of life. 97% of farms are family-owned, and 95% are participating in conservation programs and using sustainable practices. And they have significant sustainability goals by 2025. 10% more energy efficiency, 10% less land, and 25% less soil erosion. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
The name on the mailbox may say Smith, Myers, Baumgartner, or Johnson, but when you choose to plant with Rob Seco, it includes your name too, making you a stockholder in a company that's invested in you. With the simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, relationships that bring more to the table, the technology, traits, and genetics that take on local conditions, and people with the know-how to use it. At Rob Seco, the only stockholder we listen to is you.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdownsforteachers. If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The thoughtfully redesigned 2023 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance, more than Honda CR-V or Toyota RAV4. The 2023 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of June 2022. Duteau Subaru in Lincoln and DuteauSubaru.com.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Final couple minutes of the program here tonight. Again, our volleyball show coming up on the other side. Lauren Cook-West will be the host with head coach John Cook. Huskers on fire after blasting Purdue last night in West Lafayette. They're headed back that way Saturday night. They'll take on the Fighting Illini. And they're a pretty good team, not ranked, but they're a solid team that the Huskers ran into in the NCAA tournament last year in that Sweet 16 round down in Austin, Texas. So a really solid program for the Fighting Illini, and their crowd, their fans get fired up. That's a pretty tight bandbox to play in there at Huff Hall on the campus of the University of Illinois. Also, Husker Soccer's final home match of the year starts here in about 10 minutes. They're taking on nationally ranked Penn State. Huskers have clinched a spot in the league postseason tournament, which begins in about a week. But they'd like to improve their standing, so if they can go get a win on senior night, that'd be great out there tonight. We'll have all the recap of that for you tomorrow night on the program. We will have tomorrow night a full 2-hour show. We'll have our picks of the week. I'm sensing that might have another weekly winner this past week on the picks. So we'll see. We'll pull the drama out of that tomorrow night. Looking forward to that. Also, hey, how about this? A little treat for everybody tomorrow night. The dynamic duel of Kent Pavelka, Jake Muehlheisen going to stop by. They're ready to call some basketball. Huskers have their exhibition game on Sunday against Shadron State at PBA, 1 o'clock. We'll get a preview from the guys, see what they think about Fred Hoiberg's team that is about ready to tip it off. Also, Sam Griesel, we'll have him on the program tomorrow night as well. As we make our way through the second bye week of the year for Husker football, and then it's 5 rock'em sock'em games for Husker football from here to the end. All 5 teams Nebraska's played will have defenses ranked in the top 30 in the country. It's going to be tough sledding, facing some good defenses in the coming weeks. My thanks to Tim, Andrew, and Mike, to all of you for listening tonight. Again, full 2 hours tomorrow. Jessica will be back after she celebrates her birthday today. The Cooks coming up next, the volleyball show. Get your comments, questions ready for them. They'll take you through the next hour. Have yourself a great night.
hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Farmers Mutual of Nebraska is proud to support Husker athletics. Having a confident teammate beside you makes all the difference when it comes to protecting what matters most. With a proven track record of dependable coverage, unmatched financial strength, and a prompt claim service team right here in Nebraska, that's insurance kept local. Visit FMNE.com to contact an agent for a quote today. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
Get a Hy-Vee Plus Premium membership for just $99 a year and get fuel savings every time you shop in-store and online. Plus, exclusive deals and offers every month. Plus, free standard delivery and free express pickup. With Hy-Vee Plus, our plus equals more. For a limited time, get $50 off an annual Hy-Vee Plus membership with code SAVEBIG. That's right, get $50 off a Hy-Vee Plus membership with code SAVEBIG.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we designed the Ford trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years straight. Made for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't designed for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
This is the Husker Volleyball Radio Show with head coach John Cook. Presented by Bank of the West and your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit buyfordnow.com.
Now a free ball to the Huskers outside set. Kubik, kaboom, off the block and down. Kenzie, left side shot. Maddie Kubik, Nebraska, off the dig into the crowd. Big Red, overwhelming defensively. 13-9. Huskers in second. You just can see the facial expressions of Purdue. Like, are you kidding me? Maddie in system to Ani Evans. Quick attack. Big Alec. Kaboom. Woo-hoo. Wow. That's not off a serve. That's out an attack. It's 20-12. Served by Whitney Longstein across to the Boilers. Another bad pass. Passing worse than a Yugo on the Autobahn. Left side swing. Block back. Big Alec. Had help from Nicolette Hames. It's 8-1 Nebraska. Serve to Becca Alec. Good pass. Left side swing. Kubik, kaboom. Wow. Whew. Waking babies all over West Lafayette. It's 18-11. Huskers, my goodness, 14 sweeps out of 17 wins. The Big Red 9-0 and alone atop the Big Ten Conference. And this, a big road win against a ranked opponent.
And welcome into Hour 2 of Sports Nightly for the Volleyball Coach Radio Show here with head coach of Nebraska Volleyball, John Cook, and soon in just a few moments, Lauren Cook-West. My name is Tim Mulhaupt, stepping in for the incomparable John Baylor's huge shoes to fill, but we're along here tonight for the next hour to take your calls and texts from the Acres Broadcast Center. Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. And we'd like to remind you the official co-op of Husker Nation, Central Valley Ag, invites you to participate in the Volleyball Radio Show, whether you text from the tractor or call from the combines. Farmer feedback is always welcomed on the Huskers Radio Network. So with that, I'll hand it over to both head coach John Cook and Lauren Cook-West.
Thank you, Tim, for that introduction. I'm happy to be here tonight, and let's not waste any time. Get the ball rolling. John Cook, or should I call you Jeff Cook?
I heard something about that. Is that what the Purdue guys were calling me?
Apparently on the TV broadcast last night, they were referring to you as Jeff Cook, so I didn't know if that was maybe a new name you were going by, or what the deal was.
I just did, like, on Monday, I did like a 45-minute deal with them. So, I don't know. It's a stressful place in there, so maybe the noise got to them.
Maybe. Well, give us a quick recap of the Wednesday night match last night against Purdue after you had a chance to watch some film.
We did some really good things, and then we had some major breakdowns that they were got to see today on video. Because you know what, Lauren, the video never lies.
Exactly.
So anyway, it was a great win. Get out of there 3-0, and we did some really nice things. We played hard. We won some long rallies, and I thought our serving really stressed Purdue. And then Whitney and Lindsey Krause in our middles did a great job on Eva Hudson, who's, she's been, I think, Big Ten Player of the Week 6 times or something. We haven't had 5 times. We haven't had one. So they did a nice job on her, and that was the key to stopping them. And so good effort. As you know, any road win in the Big Ten is a great win.
Well, especially at Purdue. That's a tough place to play. They're always a well-coached team. I had a bad feeling going into last night's match, and you all proved me wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I get stressed there because there's no locker room. They has a new rule now. They give you a locker room. Okay, so the coach's locker room, Lauren, it was in Mackey in the basketball arena all the way at the other end. So it's not even in the same building. I mean, it's probably a 6-minute walk. So that locker room there is, like Jolene says, our trainer goes, that feels like it gets smaller every time we come here. I mean, it's tiny. So anyway, their facilities there, are
a work in progress.
Yeah, they need to do something.
Can you give us a sneak peek of Illinois, who you'll be facing Saturday night? And they're 9-10 overall, but 8 of their 10 losses are to top 20 teams.
Yeah, they've played a really tough schedule. They've got Raina Terry, who's, I think, top 3 in the conference in kills per game. They got their setter, who's a 5th-year setter. So it's at Illinois, another really tough place to play where the fans are right on the court. They have a great band like Purdue does, and then they got a great student section that is hilarious. So, but I'll just tell you, I ran into Amy Williams, our women's basketball coach today, and she's like, wow, I couldn't believe the Purdue fans, they're right there behind the players, and of course, she coaches Maggie, so she's like, they're doing all these weird things behind Maggie, and so she must have seen it on TV. But I don't think the basketball players are used to that because they play in the big arenas where of course, where the men's basketball teams play. So she was just blown away with how, on top of the fans are right there. I mean, there's hardly any room on the court. That gym actually is responsible for taking out the pursuit rule around the pole because there's no room to get around there. I mean, you have to run through the referee on both sides to get around, to pursue out on the other side outside the pole.
This is a fun fact that you may or may not appreciate, but Illinois last Wednesday played Rutgers, and they went through the entire match without using a single sub. Have you ever done that, or do you ever remember a time where you did do that, or another team did that?
No, that's amazing.
Thanks to your SID, Nate Poland. That's where I got that information from.
Epic. Well, we started watching them on video today, and they're, they're outsides. They got 3 outsides playing all the way around, which is, it's international volleyball. They're playing like men. There's, they don't sub out. Everybody plays, and they go all the way around. So, that'd be fun to play on that team because you get to play the whole time. Well, the middles come out for the libero, but you're talking about the outsides and the setter.
Right, that doesn't count.
Right. So that's pretty cool. That'd be a fun team to play on. I'd love to have a team that we could do that on.
Just try it for a match. See what happens.
We're in a 6-2, Lauren. We're already playing. Everybody on our team plays. Let's have Nate look up. When's the last time we didn't redshirt somebody and everybody's played in a big match and in big moments on our team?
That's a good question. I'll have him work on that.
Nobody can complain like, hey, you never gave me a chance, or I don't ever get to play. We're playing more players than we ever have. I like, me, I like 6 or 7, and let's roll.
Now it's ×2, 6 or 7 times 2.
I know.
Well, I reached out on Twitter today. You're going to love this. And Husker Nation came through. They're going to put you in the hot seat. I asked them to send me questions for you. And there's some amazing questions. And there's also about 100 questions, maybe more.
So you're going to do rapid fire now?
Rapid fire at the end. But we need to go fast to get through all of these because some I don't even know the answer to, and I really want to know the answer to. So are you ready to go?
Are any of them from farmers on combines? Can they text, tweet from the combine?
I think so. According to Tim's read at the beginning of the show, I believe you can text and tweet from a combine. Okay. I bet they have Wi-Fi in there.
Well, I ran into Kaylin Myers today, who looks great. She's training, for track. Of course, her major is how to build tractors, the new generation of tractors. So I got to ask her that, if the farmers out in the combine they need to be able to have the technology to text into the Nebraska Volleyball show.
Love it. Well, I'm going to tell you the name of who it was from, and then I'll give you the question. Does that sound good?
Let's roll.
All right. This is from Todd. Was the passing in the match last night versus Purdue compared to other matches this season, is that why the setters were able to run middle more, or was there another reason as to why the middles were getting more sets than normal?
It was a part of our game plan, and obviously it was every once in a while the blind squirrel finds the acorn. We knew we had good matchups there, and we told our setters, you got to run the middle. Even if it's not working, we want you to continue to run the middle. And then, as Kelly told them, and then you can make Lauren happy and JB. They don't have to ask you, why don't you run more middle? But our passing was pretty good last night, but it has been in the past, and it's just, we're trying to run more middle.
This is from Scott. It seems to me that we should STM Do you know what that means?
No.
Set the middle.
Oh, okay.
More than we do. JB and I came up with that, by the way.
Okay. Oh,
You
yeah,
say-
I've noticed, Lauren, the students have STM on signs down there. Now I know what it means.
Because we need them to remind the setters to run the middle.
Okay, I'm going to tell the
So
setters.
we tell the student section to make the signs, they make the signs, but it has yet to work at home.
Okay, I'm going to tell our setters, listen, don't listen to Kelly, do not listen to me, just look at that student section, they'll tell you the game plan.
Exactly. So Scott wants to know, you say that the setters should set more middle. Why don't they?
That's a great question. We have to get them on the show and ask them. You know, it's high risk, and sometimes, you know, it's a little riskier, but there's a greater reward. Sometimes, you know, they miss, it looks bad. If you throw it higher up there to the outsides and they mess up, it's not the setter's fault. So that's a great question. I don't know, Lauren. You used to set middle quite a bit.
Because it's easy.
Yeah.
They're right there. You just give them the ball.
I still remember your Megan Haggerty's freshman year. We played UCLA. It was ranked #1 in the Coliseum, and I think she had 24 kills as a freshman middle. That was insane. We beat them that year in 5.
But you lost to them a few years before that.
That is true.
Let's not forget.
It was the largest regular season crowd till, you know, last year or 2 years ago was it last year or 2 years ago when we broke it with Creighton, and then of course Wisconsin broke it this year. So that was 2009. That record stood for 12, 13 years.
This is from John. What brand of gum do the players chew?
That's a great question. I have no idea. I always ask them, like, hey, what kind of gum you chewing? And they just say mint or peppermint or spearmint or something. I don't know what the brand is. But you know what?
When I played, it was what?
They should get an NIL deal.
That's a good idea. When I played, it was Juicy Fruit, Big Red, and then that spearmint gum. I forget what it's called. Spearmint something. It's green.
Yeah, Wrigley's spearmint.
Maybe.
Yeah. Juicy Fruit.
And do you ever chew gum?
No.
Just mints.
Just my mints that are all natural, organic, from Whole Foods.
This is from Sarah. Can we hear more about Kenzie Knuckles and how important her role is? And what do you look forward to doing with your granddaughter Madden when you get time with her?
Well, Kenzie.
It's a two-part question.
Yeah, Kenzie Knuckles has a big role in our team, and we purposely try to start in the rotation to get her in the match as much as possible. So we start with her at right back, which is going to give her 3 times through. She usually will come through again and again. So we're trying to get her to play and be in there as much as we can. I think she's a tremendous middle back defensive player, and you know, we were great point scoring in her rotation when she serves. And of course, you know, a lot of teams don't serve her, so she solidifies our passing. She gives us a great passing lineup. So it's she has a huge role for us. And I also think, you know, I've told the team a couple times after matches, you know, she was our MVP with just some plays she's made, and you know, as you know, we talk about the backcourt winning matches and points for us, and she's somebody that can do that. And with Madden, you know, when we get to hang out, I want to do everything with her. You know, play in the snow, draw pictures with her, ride Bud and Reba, and yeah. So
You sent me a text message about how expensive Disneyland is today, so I'm assuming you're not wanting to go to Disneyland with her.
$179 a ticket? Are you kidding me?
I don't think that's that bad. There's a lot to do there.
I think I used to go for like $6 or something.
Seriously?
Yeah, when you were a kid, I mean, it was like 30 and we thought it was expensive. But
wow.
Okay, I guess we're going to Disneyland, huh?
This is from Corey, a Corey you may know. Do you miss the barbecue scent when driving through Norman on football and volleyball game days?
No question. I still have cravings for, what was the name of it? Well, Oklahoma Joe's is a great place to go, but it was the gas station barbecue place. So this is a confession tonight, Lauren. I don't know if you ever knew this, but when Seamus McKnight was our SID, him and I would punt the pregame meal and sneak out to the Corey needs a text in. I can't remember the name of it. Somebody up here's got to know it. The baseball team all goes there. It's the barbecue at gas stations, and we used to sneak out and go get the bus and take the bus driver and get by him barbecue. And that was at Baylor, Austin. Where else were we? Texas Tech, Lubbock. So those were the stops down there.
Seamus, he's a rule follower. I'm surprised he snuck away from pregame.
Because Seamus, remember, he did baseball too. So he was the one that started getting me going on it. And he was the one that wanted it. We got to get somebody to call in or text in what that name of that barbecue place is.
We actually just did. That's called Rudy's.
Rudy's, yeah.
I knew Greg Sharpe.
Right, Rudy's. That's it. Dang.
That's actually a perfect segue, Lauren and Coach Cook. It's time for our first break, and we did want to remind everyone that women-owned businesses are vital to a thriving culture of entrepreneurship, innovation, and responsible contribution to community and the planet. Bank of the West is proud to provide resources, training, and solutions to help achieve your goals. Learn more at bankofthewest.com, member FDIC. And once again, our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. We'll have much more from Coach Cook and Lauren Cook West after the break.
Nebraska Innovation Campus creates partnerships between business and the University of Nebraska. Partners lease office space, laboratories, pilot plants, and greenhouses, all centrally located with easy access to University of Nebraska talent and resources. Nebraska Innovation Campus, creating spaces and culture that inspire. Learn more at innovate.unl.edu.
Every day, Central Valley Ag supplies energy to our farmers to help feed the globe. CVA continuously monitors propane levels to ensure neither you nor your animals go a day without heat this winter in your home, shop, or livestock barn. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Visit CVACoop.com and learn how you can lock in CVA propane pricing when you register to win heat for the entire winter with tank monitoring valued over $1,500. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
The Mazda lineup of SUVs will provide safety, performance, and capability on your journey ahead. From the 3-row Mazda CX-9 to the first-ever Mazda CX-50, our sales team is ready to guide you to the SUV for your lifestyle. Shop the Omaha Metro's exclusive Mazda dealers at Woodhouse Mazda in Bellevue or Woodhouse Place Mazda. Visit us online for your next Mazda SUV at woodhousemazda.com.
Farmers can make what seems impossible reality with a little hard work and ingenuity. They find solutions to reduce inputs and improve their yield. Valley Irrigation is no different. As the leader in irrigation technology, we deliver results and optimize your operation. Because when you have a vision for the future, you need the people that can make it possible by your side. Expect what's next. Expect what's possible from Valley. Visit us at valleyirrigation.com.
Huskers, Lonstein, Nicklin outside, beating horse, kaboom, off the dig it out. Dig, set, kill, 8-8, sit 2 in West Lafayette.
Hey Huskers fans, this Saturday, join us for Nebraska Volleyball's Big Ten matchup with the Fighting Illini. Pre-match coverage begins with John Baylor, Lauren Cook West, and head coach John Cook at 5:30 p.m. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Families who travel to Nebraska's only Ronald McDonald House are facing extremely uncomfortable situations. Their child is sick in an unfamiliar city, unsure of how to handle it all. But when they walk in the Ronald McDonald House, they can find comfort in the little things. A quiet moment away from the bombardment of beeps and buzzes in a hospital room. The taste of a home-cooked meal. A calming voice saying it'll be okay. Help us provide the little things that make a big difference. Support a one-night stay for a family in need by visiting rmhcomaha.org/Huskers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Bank of the West is offering the first checking account designed for climate action. It gives back 1% of the account's net revenue to the planet at no cost to you. Shows you the estimated carbon impact of debit card purchases. And there's no minimum balance required. Learn more at bankofthewest.com/1%. Additional conditions apply. Member FDIC.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Every day, Central Valley Ag supplies energy to our farmers to help feed the globe. CVA continuously monitors propane levels to ensure neither you nor your animals go a day without heat this winter in your home, shop, or livestock barn. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Visit CVAcoop.com and learn how you can lock in CVA propane pricing when you register to win heat for the entire winter with tank monitoring valued over $1,500. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Farmers Mutual of Nebraska is proud to support Husker athletics. Having a confident teammate beside you makes all the difference when it comes to protecting what matters most. With a proven track record of dependable coverage, unmatched financial strength, and a prompt claim service team right here in Nebraska, that's insurance kept local. Visit FMNE.com to contact an agent for a quote today. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
And welcome back in to the Acres Broadcast Center and Hour 2 of Sports Nightly. Head coach John Cook and Lauren Cook-West here for the Nebraska Volleyball Coaches Show. And we want to remind you that the Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. With 18 brands and huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. And we also like to remind you that Dorothy Lynch, home style and light and lean dressing, has endless flavorabilities. That Woodhouse hotline is heating up, and we have a couple texts and a couple of calls waiting. But first, for both Coach and Lauren, Matt from a green tractor. The male managers stand back by players during matches. It looks like they are holding clipboards. What are they tracking during matches, and do you try to prepare them to become coaches, or are they mainly for practice people?
Well, they're kind of all of the above, but all of our managers pursue coaching after they leave and get their masters here, and we placed them in some great universities and some great programs. So we don't have a problem attracting people that want to come in and do that because they know this is a great stepping stone into coaching. And what they're tracking is we're watching our offense and tracking our attacking, what we're doing, and then we're also doing the same for our opponent's offense. And so one of the guys is reporting to Jalen, and one of the guys is reporting to Kelly and I. So it's a team effort. We get a lot of information, and we're either confirming or making adjustments depending on what our game plan was and what information we had going in. So it's very helpful, and those guys are a big part of our preparation. They're watching video. They know these teams, and all these guys are really good players. So they played at a high level, and they see the game really well. So it's fun to be around them because, I mean, they see things that I don't see.
We're going to keep the Combine theme going here. We have a caller on the line, Dave from Nebraska on the Combine. Dave, you're live with Coach Cook and Lauren.
Hey, Coach. Thanks for taking my call this evening.
Great.
I just want to congratulate you on the team you got this year. It's like we're on a great roll so far this fall. My question's a follow-up. Well, it's not really a follow-up, but it happens to be a coincidental follow-up to the text you just had. You've obviously been a great mentor coach with the coaching tree that you've been developing over the years. I'm curious, who have been your mentors over the years?
Oh, great, Dave, great question. Let me answer a question with a question. Are you on a red tractor or green tractor? Because Matt was on a green tractor, so I'm assuming that's a John Deere, not Husker colors.
Yeah, well, I'm one-upping him. I've got a red Combine.
Okay, all right, cool. Are you on it right now, driving it?
I am.
Okay. But I think the big-time guys have one red and one green just to keep it even, so.
Well, you got to keep everybody happy, right?
Yeah.
Just like players.
Yep. So, Matt, Dave, great question. My mentors have been, well, first of all, Coach Osborne was a great mentor for me when he was the athletic director. I just always really appreciated him because he was a coach, and we made a big transition from the Coliseum to the Devaney, and we worked closely together on that. So, Coach Osborne's been one of my mentors. Obviously, Coach Pettit, who hired me as an assistant, and then I came back and coached with him for 1 year before I took over the program. And then I have a couple other coaches in the international and men's game that have mentored me in the volleyball part of it. And then I study, a lot of coaches. Phil Jackson, I've read his books. I've watched The Last Dance. I mean, I just study those guys. Nick Saban's got great stuff. So I try to study the best and use that as well. And then probably another great mentor for me is, Lindsay Peterson, my director of ops, who's played here, and then has been our director of ops since. She's just somebody that, she lives on a ranch, she's got horses, she has 4 boys, 2 to 8 years old. She's got a lot of wisdom, she's been through this program, and she's somebody that, I always say you got to surround yourself with people who are going to help you be the best you can be. And so she's somebody that does that. She just has a lot of wisdom and knows the program and knows me, and so there's a lot of things that she can really help me on. So, but it's really important that you have people that are helping you be the best you can be, and we call that team within the team. But that's a great question. First on the show since I can remember.
Thanks, Dave, and thanks for the call. And Lauren, I'm going to turn it back over to you. I don't want to interrupt the hierarchy of questions here.
Coach, when your team is consistently performing at a high level, how do you balance praise with continuing to find ways to get better? And then with that, how do you fight off complacency throughout the season?
Yeah, that's a constant challenge right now, and we're talking about it every day. We are, so for example, last night we won 3-0 at Purdue, but we had several breakdowns, and so today's video was showing them several great plays that they made, but also showing them, hey, here's about 6 points we just left out there or gave away, and we got to be better as we're going down the stretch here and pushing toward being great and unstoppable, in November and December. So it's a constant process that you go through, and you've got to embrace the grind, and they've got to come in every day with a commitment to get better. And that's how you start separating from other teams this time of year.
Who are the best 3 passers statistically over the past 2 weeks in practice? And then on top of that, how do you grade your passers? Is it on a 0 to 3 scale, or have you guys changed that?
Yeah. Boy, these are some good questions.
I know. I know.
So passing is really important, and we grade it on a 4-point scale. So if you pass it perfect, we call it, you get 4 points. If you pass it where we call it in the box, you could pretty much, the setter can set whatever hitter they want, all 3 hitters, quick or outside. That's 3 points. If you pass a ball that you can really only set to the left antenna or the right antenna, is 2 points. If you pass a ball that the setter can't set, it'd be 1 point. And of course, if you get aced, I believe it's a minus. It's either 0 or a minus point. and then we just take the total of points you accumulate and divide it by the number of attempts, and that gives us an efficiency. So our goal is a 2.8 efficiency for our passers, and Lexi Rodriguez pretty much wins it every week, every day, as our best passer. Her and Justine are two that have been, they're usually over a 3.0, which is, they're the only two that have really always have been consistently above a 3.0. So that just shows you how tough it is. And then Maddie and Kenzie are our other two that grade out really high every day, every match. Lindsay Krause's been doing a really nice job. She just doesn't have a lot of attempts, but she's also developing into a really nice passer.
Speaking of Lindsay Krause, Jan, noticed that you had a big hug with Krause after the pink match. Any reason for that?
Well, yes. It wasn't anything I did or said, but I think Lindsay, who's followed our program for a long time, knows that that pink shirt I wore that you got for me has my sister's initials on it, who passed away from breast cancer. And so Lindsay was just coming up and told me she was thinking about my sister and gave me a big hug. So that's pretty cool, and you know, very thoughtful, and you know, caught me totally off guard.
Tim noticed that earrings are being worn during matches now. When did that rule change happen, and what is the new ruling?
Well, I went on the rules committee in January, and it changed that first day. Not because I wanted to change it. It's something that they've been talking about, and they finally just let jewelry go. Ironically, in our last, we have a call every month. In our last one of the officials that's on that committee was sharing that a girl actually caught the net with her earring and ripped her ear partially off. So you better be careful what you're doing, because you know, get caught in the net, and you know, out there it can be painful. But they've let it go, and there's specific, you can, you know, I don't know all the technicalities because I don't know all the terms, but there's some things I don't think you can wear chains and stuff that could potentially get in the way or hit somebody, but there is more jewelry now allowed.
Pardon my interruption here, Lauren. We do have a call for both of you guys from Steve from Columbus. Steve, go ahead. You're on with Coach Cook and Lauren.
Hey, Coach. Great win the other night.
Thanks.
I had like a couple different questions. I don't want to bombard you with them all at the same time. The first one is running your 5-1 versus your 6-2. How do you feel your slide hitters hit out of a 6-1 or a 6-2 versus the 5-1?
Well, the 5-1, you're going to have 3 rotations basically where you're going to want to run a slide. And in the 6-2, you have to technically you have 0 rotations unless you create that opportunity, but that means you got to run another hitter somewhere in the middle of the court. So we do it in 1 rotation. We actually worked on it today in a couple other rotations. We'd like to start getting some more of that in. It's just harder because you always have a hitter at each antenna. In the 5-1, there's 2 rotations, technically 3 rotations where, 3 rotations that you don't have a hitter at right front. So you can run that slide, and that's one of the things you give up in a 6-2 is running that slide. And you know, as we know, there's we've had some great slide hitters in this program.
Right. Okay. So the next question I have is my way to throw you for a loop, but I wanted to kind of know your thoughts on Iowa State taking down #1 Texas. Seems you and Coach Lynch have a history, and then they do have a couple Nebraska kids on their roster, and I was wondering if you were ever recruiting those 2 kids, and what do you think their success is, coming from Nebraska and going to a program like that?
Yeah, well, I mean, Christy figured it out. She's recruiting Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, Illinois, Minnesota. She's staying, with that 5-state radius. So that's what we've tried to do as well. And occasionally we'll go farther away. But she's done a great job with that, and that's just a heck of a win. I mean, that's a signature win. It's as big as Tennessee beating Alabama in football in the volleyball world. A lot of people thought Texas was going to run the table and go undefeated, to the NCAA tournament, and that they would just walk through that conference. And that's a heck of a win. And if you look at the stats, it's even more impressive because Texas had great stats, and Iowa State still found a way to win.
And thanks, Steve. And we want to take this moment before we take another break. We're flying right through this hour, Coach and Lauren. We'll get back to you more questions and calls after this break. But we wanted to remind you that Nebraska 811 says go dig red. Before you dig, always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free, it's easy, and it's the law. And the NDOT reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. More with Coach after the break.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we designed the Ford trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years straight. Made for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't designed for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
Today's play of the day comes from Nebraska. We pick it up with the local sports announcer at a Nebraska lottery retailer.
Dave enters the store. He makes a move to the checkout counter. Looks like he's going to pass. Yes, he's passing the clerk a few dollars. The clerk takes the handoff and spins around. It looks like he's placed the scratch tickets on the counter, and now Dave has them in his hand. It's the old Scratcherooski. He scratches left. He scratches right. Oh, my! He's done it! Dave has scored a bundle of cash.
Play is good. Go play. Odds vary by game.
To win the game, you got to have more strength. You got to be tougher. You got to be reliable. You got to want it more than the other guy. And you need a great team you can count on, backing you up the whole time. Whether it's in the field with your Massey Ferguson or on the field with the Huskers, red is the color of getting it done quicker, smarter, and efficiently. So this season, make sure you're checking out the lineup that'll get more done where and when it counts. From your Nebraska Massey Ferguson dealers.
While some seed companies put a greater stake in stock prices and anonymous shareholders, Rob Seco knows that what's important to you hits closer to home. That's why you'll find we're focused on your needs. With a simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, a relationship that makes it easy to connect with anyone in the company, and the technology, traits, and genetics you need from any source. Put your stock in the company that puts you first. Rob Seco.
Every day, Central Valley Ag supplies energy to our farmers to help feed the globe. CVA continuously monitors propane levels to ensure neither you nor your animals go a day without heat this winter in your home, shop, or livestock barn. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Visit CVACoop.com and learn how you can lock in CVA propane pricing when you register to win heat for the entire winter with tank monitoring valued over $1,500. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Whether you compete on the court, at the track, on the field, or in the fields, winning isn't just a goal. It's a mindset, shaped, honed, and defined throughout the season. That's why farmers pushing themselves to be the best plant DeKalb brand corn. Wherever you compete, winning has roots. Perform at your best with DeKalb. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At Sideline Chevrolet, we help you find vehicles designed with purpose and function, prioritizing safety, technology, and the dependability you need. Visit our Chevy locations in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo to shop in-stock and inbound inventory or to order your new vehicle. And as your Chevrolet Business Elite dealer, we offer commercial vehicles, including medium-duty trucks and low-cab forwards. Visit SidDillonChevy.com.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Chevy, find new roads.
SOS to the rescue. SOS to the rescue.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so cold. The furnace is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall and Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
And welcome back into the Nebraska Volleyball Show radio here at the Acres Broadcast Center. Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. We're here alongside head coach John Cook and Lauren Cook-West, and we do have a caller, Debbie from Grand Island. Go ahead.
Hi, Coach, and everybody tonight. Debbie, thank you so much for your devotion, love, and passion of volleyball.
Thank you.
What I most wanted to comment on was early in the fall there was an article in the Grand Island Independent that focused on some of the mental stresses of coaching. And I just wanted to make sure that you're aware that some of us have struggled with that. We very much appreciate your honesty with regard to that.
Yeah, that was a great article that the author who came and interviewed, he did a fantastic job. It was a great article. I got tons of feedback. That went not only to Grand Island, it went in all kinds of newspapers, online and stuff. And yeah, it was great feedback. I got tons of feedback on it. So the time was well worth it, and he did a fantastic job on it.
As always, thank you, Debbie. And I'm going to turn it back over to Lauren because I know you got that long, burning list of questions.
Coach Cook, I need you to answer faster.
Okay.
We're going quick tempo, zero tempo, all right?
Okay, zero tempo, love it.
This is from Scott. How did you determine when the benefits of the 6-2 outweighed the consistency of a 5-1?
Well, I don't know if we still have yet or not, but to run a 5-1, first of all, to run a 5-1, you have to have a great setter that can make the hitters better. So we've used 3 setters this year. We haven't found that setter yet. So if you have enough outside hitters to run a 6-2, then that's your next option, and that's what we've gravitated towards. So that's where we're at, and you know, we'll stay with it. And if one of the setters emerges, like, man, you can make everybody better, make those hitters better, and run a little bit cleaner system, then you know we'd have no problem going back to a 5-1.
Can you dim the lights during Red Kingdom? Fans are saying that it has the potential to be cool. You just need to add the light effect like football does.
I will ask again. I've asked them to do that. You know, they make that big screen red. So I don't know if there's restrictions or whatever in volleyball or in the Devaney, but we'll ask again. I think it's a great idea. Love the Red Kingdom. In fact, I love all the songs that we've introduced. You know, the Lonesome Boatman song, people love that, and then I want to say the Kincaider's band or the Killigans, their song that we kind of stole from football. So we're having fun. It's fun for our fans to have some new things, and they really get into it.
What changes, speaking of Devaney, would you make to Devaney after playing in there for 10 years?
I don't know how much I would change. Just improve parking and traffic flow, but that's out of my league. But Devaney's, I mean, ask Kelsey Robinson, Jordan Larson. They'll tell you it's one of the best places to play in the world, and those guys have played in a lot of gyms.
This is from John, and it's not a question, but his son Kale is a big volleyball fan, and it's his birthday today. And he looks like he's about Madden's age, so he was just wondering if you could, I believe Kale is listening, if you could just tell Kale happy birthday.
Kale, happy birthday from the Huskers. Go Big Red. Cheer loud.
All right, this is from Sean. Why at the start of the match do we have 7 players on the court before rotating 1 out just before the play starts? Why not just have the starting 6 out there all along?
So they put the starting 6 out there, and then the liberos kind of hang in there, and then before the match starts, the libero comes in and one of those players goes out. So that's why you see 7 out there.
This is from Misha. Misha, I believe that's how you say it. It's been said that you are the best at training setters, and I can confirm this because you trained me. So what is the first or most important thing you want your setters to learn?
Posture.
What would be the second?
I think posture and what comes from that is using the ground. Again, I've learned this with training some of the setters. To have consistency, they've got to be able to get their feet there and use the ground. So it's like a jump shot in basketball. You don't fly all over the place trying to do jump shots. You get to a spot, go up and down, and have great posture. And from there, you can set all 3 hitters and set to wherever you want, as opposed to, you know, if you don't get there, you have bad posture, then the pass will determine where you set. So we try to get our setters to believe that get there, and so you can set anything you want.
And Lauren, pardon my interruption one last time. We got to slip our last break in for the hour, and we want to remind you to buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Wrap up the show with Coach after the break.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
The name on the mailbox may say Smith, Myers, Baumgartner, or Johnson, but when you choose to plant with Rob Seco, it includes your name too, making you a stockholder in a company that's invested in you. With the simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, relationships that bring more to the table, the technology, traits, and genetics that take on local conditions, and people with the know-how to use it. At Rob Seco, the only stockholder we listen to is you.
Husker fans, in honor of the 50th anniversary of Title IX, we are taking a look back at some of the female Husker trailblazers who proved that more is possible. Today we honor Mary Denlinger Weatherholt, arguably the best college tennis player in Nebraska history, excelling both on the court and in the classroom. The Prairie Village, Kansas native holds the Nebraska women's tennis program record with 208 career wins and helped Nebraska to its first Big Ten title. She led the Huskers to a 2013 NCAA Sweet 16 appearance and finished second at the NCAA Singles Championships, the best finish ever by a Husker tennis player. She finished her career #1 in combined wins, singles wins, and singles winning percentage. She also still holds the program records for season combined victories, season singles winning percentage, and season singles victories. Off the court, Mary was a stellar student, earning her bachelor's in 2012 and playing her senior season as a graduate student, making the Big 12 Commissioner's Honor Roll 6 times, in addition to being named Nebraska's Female Student Athlete of the Year in 2013. With the incredible mark she left on Nebraska women's tennis, Mary Denlinger-Weatherholt certainly proved that more is possible. This Title IX Spotlight is proudly brought to you by Bank of the West. Women-owned businesses are vital to a thriving culture of entrepreneurship, innovation, and responsible contribution to community and the planet. Bank of the West is proud to provide resources, training, and solutions to help you achieve your goals. Learn more at bankofthewest.com. Member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey, Husker fans, it's time to gear up for the season. So let's do it right. Jerseys, hats, hoodies, and more. Shields has everything you need to show your Nebraska pride. Visit our fan shop online or in-store for the biggest and best brands in the game. You'll find the right gear to level up your team spirit with all the essentials for your pregame parking lot party. Shields, proud partner of Husker Athletics and football fans everywhere.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
And welcome back into the Acres Broadcast Center, wrapping up the volleyball show here for Nebraska. At the last couple of minutes of the show here ahead, we want to make one quick scoreboard update from Hibner Stadium. It is the women's soccer team leading 24th ranked Penn State 4-1. So hoping for the Huskers to close that one out. But Lauren, I don't want to take any more of your time. Let's get back to those questions.
Coach Cook, two quick questions to end it that I need one-word answers, and then we're going into rapid fire.
Okay.
All right? This is from Peter. What rope are you throwing these days?
It's a pink rope. It's a header rope. It's from, God, I can see the logo on it. You'll know which one I'm talking about. It's the Premier header rope. It's pink colored. I want to say it's Circle or something like that, but anyway, that's the rope I'm throwing.
And from Keith, we'll end it on this. Do you ever follow my advice?
Oh, all the time. I mean, you're in my head so much. I mean, you live rent-free in my head.
Okay, really quick, rapid fire. How many push-ups can you do in a row?
As many as I want.
Who's your best friend?
Madden.
What type of milk do you put in your cereal, muesli, oatmeal, whatever you have in the morning?
Either almond or oat.
What is the worst purchase you've ever made?
Oh, wow. Worst purchase I've ever made.
Hurry.
I don't know.
What was your last Google search?
What was I looking up? I can't remember.
We're ending on that. So thank you all to our listeners, our producers, Tim for guiding us through, and to Coach Cook for your time. We will see you Saturday as the Huskers take on the Illini, and as always, go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Get a Hy-Vee Plus Premium membership for just $99 a year and get fuel savings every time you shop in-store and online. Plus, exclusive deals and offers every month. Plus, free standard delivery and free express pickup. With Hy-Vee Plus, our plus equals more. For a limited time, get $50 off an annual Hy-Vee Plus membership with code SAVEBIG. That's right, get $50 off a Hy-Vee Plus membership with code SAVEBIG.
Every day, Central Valley Ag supplies energy to our farmers to help feed the globe. CVA continuously monitors propane levels to ensure neither you nor your animals go a day without heat this winter in your home, shop, or livestock barn. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Visit CVAcoop.com and learn how you can lock in CVA propane pricing when you register to win heat for the entire winter with tank monitoring valued over $1,500. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Bank of the West is offering the first checking account designed for climate action. It gives back 1% of the account's net revenue to the planet at no cost to you. Shows you the estimated carbon impact of debit card purchases. And there's no minimum balance required. Learn more at bankofthewest.com/1%. Additional conditions apply. Member FDIC.
Farmers Mutual of Nebraska is proud to support Husker athletics. Having a confident teammate beside you makes all the difference when it comes to protecting what matters most. With a proven track record of dependable coverage, unmatched financial strength, and a prompt claim service team right here in Nebraska, that's insurance kept local. Visit FMNE.com to contact an